You're watching ABC7 News at 11.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Jacqueline Matter. Topping our news at this hour, survivors of the deadly high school shooting in Florida are angry and demanding action from Washington. ABC's Tara Palmieri has more details.
As funerals continue for the 17 victims of the Florida high school shooting, students rallied in front of the White House. They laid on the ground for 3 minutes to represent the time it reportedly took for suspected shooter Nicholas Cruz to buy an AR-15.
If we don't stand up, our voices will never be heard, and real change needs to happen now, and that's the way that it's going to be done.
On Wednesday, President Trump is slated to hold a listening sessions with students and teachers. He'll also talk to local and state officials about school safety. Over the weekend, Parkland students and supporters rallied for changes in gun laws and announced a march on Washington on March 24th.
We feel neglected, and at this point, you're either with us or against us.
In LA, gun control advocates rallied against the NRA's donations to Congress.
Enough is enough!
Tomorrow, about 100 students will head to Florida's capital demanding changes to gun laws. Today, the Florida State Senate says it's preparing sweeping legislation on gun control, including new age restrictions for gun purchases, a ban on bump stocks, and gun violence restraining orders. The outcry following the Florida shooting also leading some to put unexpected pressure on the NRA. Dallas officials suggested that the gun group find a new city for its annual convention.
There will be marches and demonstrations should they come to Dallas, and we, Dallas, will be the ones that have to bear the costs, the responsibility, and to protect the citizens.
The administration addressed gun violence for the first time today. In a statement, a White House spokesperson said the president is open to tougher background checks for gun purchases. Tara Palmieri, ABC News, Washington.
Here's a closer look at that rally in Washington. A group of D.C. teens assembled outside the White House today for a 3-minute lie-in for gun reform. The protest represented the 17 victims of the school shooting at Stoneman Douglas High School here in Florida. The teens hope that demonstration will serve as a visual reminder of the massacre and a call to action for gun law reform. The lie-in lasted 3 minutes to represent the length of the shooting. Meanwhile, another group of Florida teens are making their voices heard, fighting for an end to gun violence in different cities across the state. Students and teachers from Stoneman Douglas High School and surrounding area schools gave emotional pleas this evening in Delray Beach, begging government officials to take action. A survivor of the shooting shared his family account of last week's deadly attack at the school, stating his mother waited across the street from school on Wednesday, thinking the unimaginable.
I would like to ask every politician how they would feel if their child didn't get to go home. How they would feel if they didn't get to enjoy another meal with their children, and how they would feel if they never got to see their child grow up and live a wonderful life.
The fight against gun violence has traveled across the U.S., with hundreds of people in Los Angeles also hosting a rally this evening. And the suspected gunman Nicholas Cruz made a brief appearance in court today for a procedural matter. The 19-year-old is charged with premeditated murder after authorities say he opened fire on students and staff at that Broward County high school. The family who lived with the alleged shooter says they never saw any warning signs. Kim and James Sneed took in Cruz after his adoptive mother died back in November. James Sneed said Cruz appeared polite and normal.
He told us he was depressed. We knew he was.
And so when you say he was quirky, just give us a sense of what that looked like.
He was just, he's just trying to fit in. He just didn't know what to say or when to say it or how to say it, you know, so he'd ask a lot of questions. He'd apologize a lot. If we told him to do something, if he needed to clean up something after himself or something, he'd apologize and said he was sorry. You don't have to be sorry, just do it.
Investigators say Cruz had 10 rifles in his possession. They are still looking into how he got all of those weapons. Prosecutors say Cruz could potentially face the death penalty. In the midst of that shooting, school security and safety is on the minds of many people right here on the Sun Coast, including the Sarasota County and Manatee County School District. Earlier today, the school board in Sarasota County held an emergency executive session addressing that issue. ABC7's Rick Adams joins us live from the county school district headquarters with more on that meeting. Rick?
Yeah, Jacqueline, good evening. This continues to take center stage. School officials are being very proactive. The horrific tragedy last week that killed 17 at a Broward County school has school officials in Sarasota and Manatee counties stepping up their fight to keep their students safe.
I'm very optimistic about it, as it's not just the typical conversations that we hear.
On Monday, the Sarasota County School Board called an emergency meeting to brainstorm ideas on school safety and security. Representatives from both the Sarasota and Manatee County school districts are heading to Tallahassee this week as part of a statewide initiative to better protect our kids in schools.
What I think is encouraging is that local leaders around the state are having these similar conversations like we are here in Sarasota County, and then filtering that back up to the state level. Those are the things that I think you'll be able to see immediate action.
Manatee County School Board Chairman Scott Hopes tells us there is so much more that can be done to prevent tragedies like the Stoneman Douglas massacre from ever happening again. School district officials in Manatee County are enforcing new operating procedures and continuing to make sure doors, gates, and locks are all secure.
There is nothing that's off the table with regards to what we can do to harden our schools and ensure that our students are safe.
In Sarasota County, school officials are asking parents and students for feedback on how to make the schools safer. So far, they have received hundreds of responses. And for a lot more information on this issue, you can log on to our website at mysuncoast.com. Reporting live from Sarasota this evening, I'm Rick Adams. Jacqueline, back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Rick. Meanwhile, Manatee County officials are still dealing with threats toward multiple schools. The district sending out a robocall today warning parents and students about a threat toward Braden River Middle School. School district spokesperson Mike Barber says that threat was made on social media, but did not report any additional details. No arrests have been made, but that threat is being investigated. And we're also learning more details about a threatening social media post against Riverview High School in Sarasota County. The school's principal sending out an update to parents regarding a threat that was released on Saturday. The email states the sheriff's office is in contact with school administrators as well as the student in question. Detectives continue to review the information, and the student in question will not be at school tomorrow, but school will continue as planned. Well, certainly a beautiful day here on the Suncoast. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan. Bob?
Thanks, Jacqueline. A warm one at that, too. Temperatures today record-breaking, 87 degrees at the Sarasota Braden Airport, well above the average of 74. It's 72 right now, so it's still warm out there. Skies are clear, and the dew point still fairly high at 66 degrees. We have that east wind now at 10, and the pressure 3027 that has been rising all evening long and continues to do so. The high pressure is the reason why we have been so warm, and it's been producing lots of clear skies and that sunshine warming things up. Still pretty warm at this hour in Miami. In fact, well above where they normally are too. 78 there in Miami, 77 in Key West, a bit cooler in the Panhandle. At Tallahassee at 63 degrees. Well, there it is, the big blue H, which usually means blue skies, and that's what we've seen. For the most part, there's some showers. We had a brief shower in some areas. In fact, in Braden and South Braden reported a brief shower this evening, and you can see a lot of that rain, though, heading off to the north around that periphery of that high-pressure ridge. As far as we're concerned, we're seeing this east to southeasterly wind flow, which will keep us warm again tomorrow. And that means we're going to see high temperatures into the mid-80s, could see some record-breaking warmth once again. And so the warm weather is going to be continuing at least through this work week and into the weekend. And then the long-range models, we'll show you those in just a little bit, are showing some signs of a cool down as we wrap this month up. But I mentioned the light rain showers. That's just due to the heating of the day today. Highs were into the upper 80s inland, and just enough heat and just enough moisture coming in from the Atlantic to allow a few spotty showers around earlier this evening. Most of that activity now over for the time being. We'll have more on our weather forecast coming up in a few minutes. Jacqueline?
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. The family of a missing Manatee County girl tells us she has been found safe. Jalissa Shannon's grandfather tells us she was staying at a cousin's house since she was reported missing. Her mother reported her missing after leaving home around 9 o'clock last night. Her family says they were relieved to learn that she was safe after receiving a text message from her just before 6 p.m.
I'm feeling a whole lot better, now that we did hear from her texting my oldest granddaughter, and I'm just glad to hear about it, and I'm hoping soon that she'll be home.
Jalissa is the sister of 13-year-old Janessa Shannon, who went missing in July but was found murdered weeks later. Her father, Nishan Shannon, is charged with aggravated child abuse and first-degree felony murder. He remains in jail without bond. Local Congressman Tom Rooney has announced he will not run for re-election. The U.S. representative shared his statement today. He used this opportunity to look back at his old football days and says it's time to hang him up after 10 years in Congress. Congressman Rooney is scheduled to speak in Nokomis tomorrow at an event hosted by Inglewood Indivisible. The visit is set to take place at the Nokomis Community Center starting at 6 p.m. Straight ahead, Chief Meteorologist Bob Harrigan will be back with your first alert forecast, plus an update on 2 construction projects here on the Suncoast, how they're expected to affect traffic. And another farmers market coming to downtown Sarasota when you'll be able to shop around for local goods.
Every year, 40% of all food in the U.S. never gets eaten.
40%. That's almost half the food we produce.
Food waste is a serious problem. It impacts all of us.
And it's expensive. Your family is throwing $1,500 a year in the trash.
We're working hard to put food waste on the chopping block.
And you can do the same at home.
Learn how to cook it, store it, and share it.
Just don't waste it.
Go to SaveTheFood.com.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
About every 3 minutes in America, someone is diagnosed with a blood cancer. Light the Night brings together survivors and supporters to bring light to the darkness of cancer and to help fund life-saving research. Our goal is a world without blood cancers, and we're lighting the path to cures. The discoveries made in blood cancer research have led to breakthrough treatments for many cancers and other serious diseases. Help defeat the darkness of cancer. Join Light the Night today.
Don't allow your weight to threaten your health or control your future. Excess weight or obesity can cause emotional and physical health risks. But you can take control. The Your Weight Matters campaign offers free resources and tips to help you measure and understand your weight. Take the Your Weight Matters Challenge. The free toolkit prepares you to speak with a healthcare provider about your weight. Your weight does matter. Take the challenge and take control today.
Enjoy some of the best Suncoast restaurants on me. Just go to mysuncoast.com/dining, sign up for the newsletter if you haven't already, and you can win a $50 gift card to a restaurant in our area. We'll pick a winner each week, so go on our website and sign up now.
Outdoor living is one of the greatest perks about living in Florida. So whether this is your style, or this, or maybe this, contact Superior Pools. They've been building pools from Sarasota to Naples since 2001, and they would love to build yours.
So, Bob, we were breaking records here on the Suncoast today.
And it may not be the last.
Okay.
We're going to see temperatures soaring again at the mid to upper 80s, I think, over the next couple of days at least. We may get a slight cool down by Thursday, but not much, just a couple degrees. Beautiful sunset, Sapphire Shores. This one from Ray sent it in. You see some clouds around this evening. That's the result of the daytime heating, up to nearly 90 degrees at times. And this one from Carol Ecker, who sent this in. That's her granddaughter and grandson, I think, and the LBK, Colin and Kira. I guess you reversed the photo there, but anyway, they had an enjoyable night with the sunset. And I was out geocaching with my daughter and her friends, and Robert, this guy, showed up. And geocaching is what you do. You find out these little places and little knickknacks that are kind of hidden all across the world, for that matter, and people play and they have a lot of fun with it using your phone. So it was a lot of fun doing that. Met that guy, watches ABC7. He goes, "That's the weatherman. Are you the weatherman?" I said, "Yeah, I do the weather." And so sure enough, he said, "Well, I need a picture of that." I said, "Well, send it in." Well, there you did. We have high pressure dominating the weather over the southeast right now, and All that rain coming in from the Gulf of Mexico just wrapping around this area of high pressure, causing all sorts of problems with flooding throughout Ohio, Indiana, and into Illinois tonight. You can see that rain continuing to train over the same area. That means repeated shower activity, some heavy rainfall at times, continuing to move over the same area, and it looks like that will be the case tomorrow, where there are numerous flood watches and flood warnings. The brighter green that you see right here, those are all flood warnings that are in place right now. Those are active flood warnings. The darker green indicates the flood watch. That's in effect through Wednesday, and then to the west thereof, it's an ice storm in Iowa, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the eastern sections of South Dakota and Nebraska. It looks as though we will see a few spotty showers possible over the upcoming afternoons due to the heat of the day, but for the time being, things are fairly quiet. It's 72 right now, and we have clear skies. The dew point temperature is at 66. We have an east wind at 10. The high today, well, there it is, 87 degrees, and the record was 86. That was back in 1990. Now the new record, 87. And it looks as though we could see temperatures again into the mid to upper 80s because of that easterly wind to southeasterly wind. Now this is clear, so the area looks like fog. It's not, but we'll see some patchy fog tomorrow. I don't think it's going to be that widespread. It will be around shortly and then push off quickly and lift and dissipate. As far as the futurecast goes, we're going to see that east to southeasterly wind flow. And you'll see things don't change much. Just a few clouds in the afternoon coming on over from the east coast. And then this front approaches, some severe weather possible over the southern plain states over the next couple of days, even an ice storm as far south as Oklahoma City. But for us, we just we'll see the steady southeasterly wind and that high pressure kind of holding on. And that cold Arctic air sinking southward into that warm, moist air will allow for those bigger storms to form. And as far as temperatures go right now, pretty warm. Pittsburgh at 61, 62 in Columbus, Indianapolis at 63 degrees. But there's where that cold Arctic air is spilling southward in the northern and central Rockies. Denver now at 73 into Dallas, Oklahoma City at 48. And you can see the temperature contrast quite a bit over the southeastern United States. It's pretty mild. Now, as far as the wind chill goes, you can see the wind chills into the single digits, below zero readings from Minneapolis all the way down into Denver tonight. This cold air is going to be feeding off to the east. We will see some cooler temperatures here come into play, not this Thursday, but next. So we have a long time to wait before we start to cool down back to average. Winds will be out of the east to start things off tomorrow at 10 knots, subsiding to 5 knots and turning to the south in the afternoon. So here's the 7-day forecast. There it is, mid-80s right through Thursday, and then a couple degrees cooler as promised on Friday. Saturday, there's a slight chance for a shower late in the day and into the evening within a little piece of energy moving by, but temperatures staying unseasonably warm, so enjoy this spring-like weather. We'll get back to more normal temperatures, I mentioned, in about 10 days from now. Jacqueline?
Okay, thank you so much, Bob. Former Carolina Panthers player Ray Caruth is breaking his silence from behind bars. In his first formal interview since 2001, he's asking for forgiveness and hoping for a relationship with his son. Sarah Blake Morgan shares Caruth's side of the story.
For nearly 2 decades, Ray Caruth has sat quietly behind bars, convicted in conspiring to kill the mother of his unborn child. But now, 8 months before he's released, he's finally breaking his silence. Ray Caruth wants a relationship with his son, Chancellor. That's one of the main motives in his writing this 15-page open letter to Sandra Adams, Sharika Adams' mother and Chancellor's grandmother, who's been tirelessly caring for him since day one. In the letter and through our phone conversation, Caruth apologized to Adams for the loss of her daughter. And while he wouldn't answer specific questions about that night, he did say he takes full responsibility for Sharika's death and Chancellor's condition. Take a listen.
I feel responsible for everything that happened, and I just want her to know that truly I am sorry for everything.
What exactly are you apologizing for?
I'm apologizing for the loss of her daughter. I'm apologizing for the impairment of my son.
We took the letter to Sandra Adams, and she had a lot to say. She's glad to see Caruth has matured and is willing to see a relationship form, but she does not see a scenario where he will ever receive full custody of Chancellor. For now, reporting for the Raycom News Network, I'm Sarah Blake Morgan.
Business owners along Bee Ridge Road are starting to get a little relief and a little more business now that roadway improvements are complete. But starting this March, Bee Ridge Road will see even more construction. The stretch of roadway from Bond Place to Cattleman Road will see everything from roadway resurfacing to drainage improvements. Some are saying they can already see a difference on Bee Ridge, adding that may be because drivers are taking alternate routes during construction.
I would say there's definitely less traffic on Bee Ridge now, or maybe it's just flowing better because the way they've recycled things.
The project will cost roughly $3.4 million. The estimated time of completion will be fall of this year. Drivers should expect nighttime lane closures while crews are working. And an update now on that diverging diamond construction project at I-75 and University Parkway. The project consists of constructing a diverging diamond interchange, adding an auxiliary lane on northbound and southbound I-75, constructing new bridges on I-75 over University Parkway, and much more. There will now be temporary single-lane closures on northbound and southbound ramps of I-75 at University Parkway on Wednesday, February 21st between 11 p.m. and 5 a.m. Crews will be placing the final layer of asphalt on the ramp. The project is expected to be completed early this year. And starting next week, you won't have to wait until the weekend to shop at the farmers market. You can visit vendors at the Rosemary Sunset Farmers Market at Cityside starting this Thursday. It's led by the Sarasota Farmers Market and will be held every Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. through mid-April. You can find it in the Rosemary District at the intersection of Coconut Avenue and May Lane. It will be similar to the weekly farmers market that's held on Saturday mornings in downtown Sarasota with local produce, food, and music. Sports is next, but first, here's what's coming up on Jimmy Kimmel.
Love is in the air tonight.
We were doing shots and everything.
Was that the only time you played while intoxicated?
No.
No.
My name is Stefan Campagna. We're Ben Gates and Dramus, and here is your law tip of the week. If you've been injured or arrested, I know this feels like the end of the road, but really it's the beginning of a long, potentially stressful process. So give us a call. Let us give you some peace of mind.
We all love our kids and want what's best for them. You have the power to help your kids learn to succeed in life every day. When you promote a love for learning at home, children build the skills they need to be ready for school. You can be their everyday hero. It's easy. Just text Everyday Hero to 77453 for simple learning tips.
Glasses and contacts. You need them to see, but they put such a strain on your life, you miss precious moments. Due to new advances in vision improvement technology, LASIK is now affordable for almost everyone, with procedures starting as low as $299 per eye and over 1 million procedures performed by our trusted independent surgeons. LASIK surgery is a sensible, safe, and affordable solution to improve your vision. Our simple 3-step process begins with a free evaluation, followed by an extensive preoperative exam to determine if you're a candidate for LASIK eye surgery. Depending on the results of your evaluation and eye exam, you and your surgeon will choose the LASIK option that works best for you. So call now to talk to a LASIK Vision Institute counselor and schedule your free evaluation. That's a $100 value, free. Call the LASIK Vision Institute for your free evaluation and enjoy more of your life.
Call 1-800-813-0109. 1-800-813-0109.
There's nothing like this trail in Alabama. It just goes from the northern part of the state to the southern part of the state. We see all kind of different terrains, great value and great fun. We've been coming for 18 years. We started off with a group of 8, grew to 12, and grew to 16. And we love it because where else can you get world-class golf courses with world-class accommodations? To be able to play these type of courses in this environment, and the difficulty keeps us coming back over and over and over again.
Selfless service is the principle that guides Army National Guard soldiers to be ready whenever disaster strikes. They have a stake in the well-being of the neighborhoods where they live and work. They train part-time to be ready to serve at all times. Selfless service. It's what inspires the men and women of the Army National Guard to be part of something greater than themselves. Visit NationalGuard.com to learn more.
So I kind of grew up all across the country. I come from 5 generations of military men. My dad is still active duty. My grandpa is retired Marines. I like going for runs with my dog. I love, taking her out to the dog beach over in Venice. There are so many things here to do on the Suncoast. My goal every day when I come into work at ABC7 is to tell your stories, give you that major local news and those details that you really care about. I'm Jacqueline Matter, and I'm here for you.
Now, sports.
Area spring training teams welcoming full squads for the first time today in Port Charlotte. The Tampa Bay Rays look very different from just a year ago. Stars like Evan Longoria were traded in the offseason. Over the weekend, the Rays also traded pitcher Jake Odorizzi and released first baseman Corey Dickerson. Those moves did not impress Rays outfielder Kevin Kiermaier. He told the Tampa Bay Times he's 100% frustrated and very upset by the team's weekend moves. But he also understands the realities of Major League Baseball.
This is a business. There's always people coming in, people going out, and it's always a lot tougher when people go out, especially, good quality guys like them.
And this is the 9th year that the Orioles have trained here in Sarasota since moving from Fort Lauderdale. Visit Sarasota says the Orioles have an $89 million economic impact year-round. Thousands of fans come to the area each spring to follow their team.
This is my first time out here at the Ed Smith Field, and I am really excited to, see what they do down here, maybe meet a few players, and get my husband some autographs.
My favorite player is Manny Machado.
How come?
Well, because he's a star third baseman, and he bats second in the lineup, and he's got 300 batting average every year almost.
The Orioles' first exhibition game is this Friday at Ed Smith Stadium. Baltimore will host the Rays at 1:05 rather in the afternoon. That's a look at sports. We'll have tonight's winning lotto numbers when we come back.
Today, everyone is looking for more fashionable choices in flooring than ever before. And G. Fried has responded with a huge selection of carpets, tile, wood, laminate, and vinyl. Installed by a highly skilled team, G. Fried has got everything you're looking for and more. The next time you think about quality flooring, think G. Fried Flooring America. G. Fried Flooring America. Our world is at your feet.
They're coming from Tampa, Fort Myers, even Orlando. They're coming from everywhere for the Sarasota Ford Promise. We promise we're more than a dealership. We're a destination with a movie theater, massage room, aquarium, cafe, and more. We promise to give you top dollar for your trade, even if you don't buy from us. And if you do, we promise you the best deal. Bring us any competitor's ad and we'll beat it by at least $1,000. That's why they're coming from everywhere to Sarasota Ford, where 41 meets 301. SarasotaFord.com.
SRQ Performance Parts provides parts and accessories from over 300 manufacturers, so you can get that new manifold, carburetor, gasket, bolt kit, or nitrous oxide system fast. We'll help you beat the competition. Call or visit SRQ Performance Parts online today for all your high-performance parts and advice.
I'm Anne. I'm a scientist.
Recycling takes a team.
Why don't you let me and me help you out?
Everyone plays a part. Don't trash.
I love taking stuff apart and building new things out of it.
What could be treasure?
Pal's my most advanced android. This is awesome. You haven't seen anything yet.
Give your cardboard box another life. Recycle.
Chris Domine is a husband, father, an athlete, even an Ironman. But 10 years ago, Chris's kidneys were failing.
The doctor said if you don't do dialysis, if you don't get a kidney transplant, you are going to die.
Then Chris received a second chance, made possible by an organ donor.
Your well-being changes from loss of hope to better times ahead.
Imagine what you could make possible. Learn more and sign up as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. Go to organdonor.gov.
We answered the call of duty and left our homes to serve in far-off lands. Now, we answer another call, this time at home, in our own communities, to respond in times of chaos, to use our strength, our skills, and our experiences to bring hope amid devastation and destruction. Together, as a team of brothers and sisters, we're continuing our mission to make this country a little stronger and a little better each day. We are Team Rubicon.
Check out My Suncoast Dining on mysuncoast.com, your guide to the foodie lifestyle. ABC7's own Chef Judy serves up her favorite recipes, cooking tips and trends, dining blog, step-by-step videos, and Suncoast Restaurant Guide. You'll find it all at mysuncoast.com/dining. The Florida Lottery winning numbers are sponsored by Frontier Fios.
Finally tonight, a warning for couples about Netflix cheating. Netflix reports about half of all couples surveyed admitted that someone in the relationship is a Netflix cheater. That means you and your partner agree to watch your favorite show together, and then one of you watches ahead. Some couples might just laugh it off, but others could see it as a sign of a deeper issue in the relationship.
Realms of communication and connection are changing, and this is one of them. And I think that it creates a little fissure or breaking of the trust there when someone else will go ahead and watch shows without the other partner.
Therapists recommend talking about how important sharing a show together is before you decide to watch without the other person. Who knew Netflix cheaters were a thing, Bob?
Yeah, I'm not one of those. I watched one series on Netflix with my wife, and it was really good, but then I said, I got no time for this, so I said, I got other things to do. But anyway, we are looking at some nice weather tomorrow, warm, albeit highs in the upper 80s.
All right, sounds great. Thank you, Bob. Thanks for joining.